My name is Cantu. I'm a registered dietitian with the Chef program. And Chef stands for Culinary Health Education for Families. We're a nonprofit organization based here in San Antonio that started 10 years ago, and we started in the Children's Hospital, in Christus Children's, with a culinary medicine program. And so with that, we were able to train physicians in nutrition and give them a little bit more information to tie nutrition with specific diseases. So that way, when children were diagnosed with a different disease, they would then go with their families into a teaching kitchen and learn how does nutrition play into their diagnosis, and how does nutrition answer maybe some of their questions in moving forward. And so with that, we've been evolving over the past 10 years. From this clinical background, clinical start off, we then were able to branch out into school districts. So we've been working with pretty much every school district in San Antonio for the past 5 years, and we teach PE coaches and health coaches in school districts right now so that they can then go and teach their students nutrition education. And so we pride ourselves on doing nutrition education mixed with culinary skills. And so hopefully those two, we get to put nutrition into practice right away. And so that's the exciting part about today, is that we are going to get to cook. And so from that start, we've been working also in community settings with Boys and Girls Club and YMCA, and then also Health by Design, which works with veterans and retired firefighters. And that, again, is more of a disease-specific types of line. So we have management of diabetes, we have anti-inflammatory diets, and then same thing too with brain health and just aging with nutrition as well. I'm excited to share that we have 3 new lines of curricula. So we do have our cancer-specific curricula that's coming out. We also have a gut-brain health. And then our last one too is talking about mental health as well. So we're excited to combine these topics with nutrition and also with our chef recipes to empower us, empower families. And then the whole goal too is to take what you learned in the kitchen and share it with your families. Get as many people in the kitchen, because this is a way to socialize. It's a way also to care for yourself, care for each other. And then two, hopefully you can share what you learned today so that your families, your friends can then care for you by making our recipe or a different recipe. But again, it's a way of caring, showing love, and then also hopefully having a good time. So that's what we're here today. If you have any questions throughout, please feel free to kind of just ask me your questions. And there's a very informal process for today. So we'll be making our Fiesta bowl with an Apricot Pico de Gallo, and yeah, we'll kind of jump right on in. We did already our introductions beforehand, so I'll just ask our 2 new chefs today if you could just share your name and then also your cooking level of experience, and also too what you hope to learn for today.
I'm Pat Maldonado.
Okay.
I just cook for my family, but when I worked for HEB, we used to attend the culinary classes that they had there.
Wonderful.
Yes, so,
Okay, awesome.
And also just my family, but it's just my husband and I. So it's a matter of scaling down and
Yeah.
being interested in what we're supposed to be. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Oh, wonderful. I know too earlier we said talking about maybe diet-specific related things are bringing us today, of either removing processed foods and added sugars, or just wanting to learn a new recipe and learn how we can enjoy what we're eating, what we're cooking. So we today are talking about cook well, eat well, live well. It's our philosophy in Chef. And we also we believe that food is medicine, so we really want to harness the power of our food to help our bodies feel better, to fuel us with energy, and to move forward to with a bright and beautiful day ahead of us. A little hot and sunny here in San Antonio today too in the summer, but So with that, we'll get started. So I know a few of you have already diced our tomatoes and diced some onions. So I'll just go through real quick and show our dice methods. But two, I know Thrival is a cancer foundation. So with that, there is the concern of having, wherever you are in your cancer journey, either before treatment, after treatment, or during your treatment, the three main points or three main nutrients we want to focus on is making sure you're getting enough calories throughout the day, making sure you're getting protein in those calories, and then also getting those vitamins and minerals. So we'll look through at that in our recipe. This Fiesta bowl also talks about getting the 5 food groups on our plate at one time to fuel us. And then each of those food groups will have either calories, protein, or those vitamins and minerals. And so we had a little pop quiz earlier, but what are the 5 food groups? Can we? Protein, fruits and vegetables, grains, and dairy. Wonderful. So as you'll see today in our recipe, we'll have all 5 of those components on. So I'll start with our tomato. And so to start with the tomato, we're going to always want to create a flat surface, and that's because it is a round type of, is it a fruit or a vegetable? I think this is a good fruit, right? Because it has the seeds in it. It's also about 94% water too, so another way we can tell. But I'll just create my flat surface here. And then first long ways. I think I'll use about half a tomato for myself right now. And then I'll make some long strips. Whoop. We were saying earlier too that with tomatoes, because they're so watery and slippery, and then they also have this like smooth skin on the outside, sometimes it's better to use a serrated knife. And that's one that has like the jagged edges. We use it sometimes to cut bread. It's a little bit easier to saw through. Or a very sharp knife. A great answer to cutting your tomatoes. We talked about too how to hold your knife. So whenever you're cutting, I know you can kind of do whatever works best for you and modify it as you need, but we pinch the blade up here at the top and then wrap the rest of our 3 fingers around. And it gives us a lot of control. It takes a little bit of the pressure off of our wrists too. And then you can also use your second hand as a guide on top of the blade, or we call it the claw. So just extra kitchen safety for everybody. We want to tuck our fingertips under so we don't see the tip of a fingertip in anyone's Pico de Gallo today. But instead, we just have our knuckles to kind of guide our blade along. So I'm just going to finish up our long slices. And anytime we're doing a dice too, we're aiming for little cubes at that time. So I'll leave this over here. And so I mentioned it earlier too, what vitamin is in our tomato, if anyone remembers? Vitamin C, that's correct. And again, anytime we see different colors, the fruit or vegetable, the color also is tied to a nutrient. So this one, Hannah, do you remember? It's lycopene, right, for red? And that's the specific phytochemical in it. So it's called lycopene, anything that's red. Maybe another trick question, but what other fruit or vegetable is red that also is high in vitamin C? Strawberries, yes, perfect. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna add my tomato here into my Pico de Gallo mix, and we'll do the red onion next. So red onion, again, it has this purple color, purple red, a little bit. I'm gonna peel the outside, so we don't need that. The red, does anyone remember what it's called? That's okay. It's called anthocyanins. Anthocyanins is the phytochemical. Again, phyto just meaning fruit or plant base, and then the chemical that's tied to it. So that is actually tied to, it helps with brain health, the anthocyanin, and then also promotes and protects your cells. So that's very important what we're aiming for today. So I'm just going to go ahead and dice this one as well. If anyone's still dicing. Onions always get me. I will start crying, and I promise it's just the spiciness of the onion. So I'm going to just cut a little bit for today. Again, dicing, I'm going long ways, one way, and then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees and go the other way. All right. And so the onion, what part of which food group does it fall under? Vegetables. So vegetables, any part of a plant that you can eat. And what part is it? Is it the stem, the root, or the leaves? A little trick question too. The root. It's the root. Yeah, so onions are the root part of our plant. So I'll just go ahead and put a little bit more. There you go. So the next item we're going to turn to, so as you can tell, we're building our pico de gallo first. And so next we're going to go to our jalapenos. So if it's not seeded already, you can go ahead and, that's why we have gloves, so it doesn't get too spicy on us and the oils of the jalapeno doesn't stay in our fingers. We'll go ahead and with your gloves just kind of pull out the seeds and the inside, and you can put it into your trash bowl here. Yeah. Oh, nice. So this is just going to add a little kick. If you don't like or are not a fan of spice, that's okay too. You can leave it, or maybe just put very little if you want. Sometimes jalapenos can be kind of spicy. But the seeds are the spice part, are the hottest part actually of the jalapeno. So we're going to go ahead and take those out. We're going to give it a nice quick dice too. So the oils on the jalapeno can actually even irritate your skin. So that's why, again, we want to strive to use the gloves so that way it doesn't remain in our skin. And then we touch our eyes or touch our face. I know we've kind of all been there before. Not a great spot to be. All right. I'm just going to go ahead. I do like a little spice out. I'm going to cut my whole half. I'm going to add it into the bowl here. All right. And then, awesome. Wonderful. How are we doing? Oh, do you need a knife? Ooh, okay. There should be a box right underneath, actually, if you want to grab a knife from there. Perfect. That works, yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. So as we're finishing up with our jalapeno, I'm going to just kind of jump into the next ingredient today. So I have, on the recipe, it says apricots. They only had peaches for us today, but they are peaches and 100% fruit juice. So I'm going to go ahead and open and strain it here into my trash bowl. And if it's not strained already, go ahead and do that. And then also, if you want, go ahead and also rinse it if you'd like in the sink or here in the hand sink. We rinse any type of canned product. I know earlier we talked about canned products being a concern, and we like to rinse in order to take off any extra juices or any extra sodium or added sugar that can be in the juice. So this juice, again, our peaches are just in 100% fruit juice.
Ask a question.
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
I know a mom had a child cancer survivor, and she rinsed everything in like a vinegar solution.
Okay. I have not heard of that.
Especially leafy vegetables. Like this vinegar will remove all these pesticides. So the ones with the most pesticide are green beans, all your greens. They're everything that you wash the house, and in the last ones you took vinegar and
Yeah.
She did our berries, and I stayed with them when they came.
Uh-huh.
I was like,
An extra, so she rinsed all the produce in vinegar. So that's just taking another step, an extra precaution in food safety. So food safety, especially during wherever you are in your cancer journey, is very important because your immune system is a little bit more vulnerable during that time. So we do want to practice good food safety. We rinsed all of our vegetables. You can go an extra step and use a vinegar solution, or even, I know sometimes baking soda, even just giving it a good rinse while also kind of scrubbing a little bit on the edge does just as well too. So
Straight vinegar?
straight vinegar, yes. Yeah.
I
cider?
do admit my blueberries tasted a little strong.
Yeah.
I think it's an acquired taste.
Yes.
Straight vinegar or vinegar and water?
You could do straight vinegar or vinegar in water and rinse it. Again, just using water itself is good. We just want to make sure that we are rinsing, kind of scrubbing the outside of it, kind of shaking it a little if it is like blueberries or something like that, and that does help to get rid of the pesticides, anything that's on the outside. So that's just using water is a great way to do it too. Yeah, I know it leaves an interesting flavor taste if you do vinegar sometimes. If you'd like, they did come. If you don't have to. And then we're gonna go ahead and add that straight in just to add some color. Again, some more color. We got some red from our tomatoes, a little bit of a purple from our onions, green from our jalapenos, and then also the peaches as well. So if you're doing this at home, what other fruits or what else would you add into your pico de gallo to make it a little bit more to your liking?
Pineapple,
Mango. Ooh, okay. I know I've seen those at HEB too. They have like mango ones, but I haven't heard pineapple. I like that. Anything else? Anything else? Fruits or veggies? Anything you'd add into your pico de gallo? Yeah. So, yeah. Again, you can make it kind of to however you like it. You can even do some jicama if you want more of that crunch in there too. Jicama is a good. It adds a little bit more color too, and it has that crunch. Jicama. It's more. It's again another root vegetable, and it's brown on the outside. It is pretty similar to a turnip. It's very bland in flavor, and so it can kind of meld into anything. But it has lots of fiber in it too. So if you're looking for added fiber, that can be one way to go about it.
I don't know if HB still sells them, but they had slivers of jicama to make your tacos on it.
Yes, they have jicama tortillas. It's a low carbohydrate type of food too. Any vegetable is gonna be low. Yeah. Yes, I know. I love. You can shredded carrots. You can go sweet. You can go savory with. So it's wonderful. I like that idea a lot.
Another one too is radishes because it has that.
Yeah. Again, that crunch, the little flavor. Yeah, that's great. I love these ideas. Wow. We have some great pico de gallos coming soon. So next we have our lime, and we're gonna go ahead and cut. If you don't have half a lime, go ahead and cut it in half, and then we'll squeeze the lime on top. You can go either way. I like going vertical with it in order to get a good squish, and then you'll share half with your partner here. End to end, yeah. Yes, ma'am. And then we'll add that again to bring out more flavor in it. Do you mind if I borrow the other half? Thank you. So this again adds a little bit of acidic flavor to it. It brings out all of our spices that we're gonna use, and anything acidic too you can use. So if you have lemons at home, oranges even too, not only extra vitamin C, that's gonna help pull out our iron that's in our protein foods today, but also it'll help to bring out the flavor without adding extra salt into our recipe. That's where we're at. All right. And again, I like to emphasize that recipes are just guidelines. You can make it however you want to too. So the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna roughly chop some cilantro. So there's cilantro spread throughout all of the tables. Go ahead and grab just a little bit, depending on your flavor preference or profile. So some people too, cilantro actually tastes soapy to them, and that's about 10% of the population, or 1 in every 10 people. So that's okay. Does anyone here, does it taste soapy? Does it taste soapy to you? It does?
But
Yeah.
I just learned to like it.
Gotcha.
If I get something that has cilantro, I
And how do
Pick
you
it out.
chop your cilantro?
So the cilantro, actually, you can use full stem and leaf, which is wonderful. Actually, the stem has more of that cilantro flavor to it too. So a great way to do it. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some cilantro too.
Yeah.
I got some here. So a great way to use the cilantro, we're gonna bunch it up first. You can taste it too. How does it taste to you? Good?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, awesome. So we'll bunch it up. I'm gonna do all in total. If you have a long piece of it, you can kind of bend it back on itself. And I'm gonna just create a bunch of it first. And then do nice rough chops straight down. All right, yep. Nice rough chops. So anytime we're doing our cooking classes too, we like to think about using all of our senses, bringing every part of our sense into it today. And so as you're chopping, as you're cutting, what do you smell? What does it smell like to you?
Very aromatic.
Aromatic, right? Beautiful,
It's like freshness, actually, like,
right? Very earthy.
like rain, you know, or something.
Yes, yeah, very earthy profile. Wonderful. So as you chop it, go ahead and add as much as you want into it today. So I'll go ahead and do just about half of what I chopped, maybe a little more. All right, awesome. And then go ahead and do just a quick mix of everything too. I think my bowl's overflowing here. Yeah. So if you haven't already, go ahead and give it a nice mix. Your Pico de Gallo. Any other flavors or smells that you can get if you just kind of take a whiff of it right now? Anything else coming out to anybody? I definitely lime. Okay. Any onion smells? Onion.
It was earlier.
Right, very strong. Yeah. Again, bringing that mindfulness into what we're cooking, enjoying what we're doing. Again, so not only do we get to taste the food in a little bit, but we eat with our eyes. We get to see all the colors that are presented. We get to eat with our nose today too. We get to smell it a little. And then as you mix it with your hands, what textures do you feel too? So go ahead and with our gloved hand, just kind of go ahead and mix it. And what do you feel? Yeah, a mix of all different textures. I get actually more of a smell as I'm mixing everything through. So we're just bringing that mindfulness in, bringing in all our senses to this moment. All right. Okay, wonderful. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off my gloves and grab a new set of gloves. Next, we'll go ahead and start cooking our meat. So we have ground meat today. It's 93% lean, 7% fat. So it is a higher lean percentage. We are aiming for lean meats. It reduces the amount of saturated fat that we have today. And the saturated fat is what we consider solid at room temperature. It comes from animal-based products. And that too is what also can lead to higher inflammation in the body. So the more we can reduce that amount, the better. That's why we're also using olive oil today too. So go ahead and you can turn on your stove if you want to do some meat today, or if you want to warm up your beans. So if someone doesn't want to do meat, we can warm up our beans instead. Yep. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, that would be great actually. So we'll do a medium heat. Yeah. Oh, so do a little bit of olive oil first, and then we'll go ahead and add the beans on too. Yes. Oh, actually, there should be a cup of olive oil on your. Oh, I think this one's it actually. There you go. And that's 1 tablespoon of olive oil is in the little cups. So go ahead and if you're not doing all of it, you don't have to put all of it on.
I don't even know if it's not.
I don't think ours is working.
Ooh, let me check that out then.
It doesn't have a red line on it.
There we go. And then if we go.
How do you, oh, there they are.
It
You
wasn't.
see it? That's okay. It's at a weird angle.
I can see it now. The angle I saw.
Yes. Yeah, so you can warm up your beans or do your meat instead, whichever you want to do today. The rice too, yes. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Each person only needs half the meat served, yes. So if, yeah. Oh, you're good. Medium, yeah, yeah. How are you doing?
Is it on the right end?
Let's see. Oh, I think this is actually very high.
How do you know?
Yes. What were you looking for?
I was wondering if I could use the onion.
Oh, yes, go ahead. Or if not, you can have my onion too, if you like.
I
Yeah.
like sauteing garlic and onion with my beef.
Yes. Oh, okay. And so then we can also pass around this. Actually, it's queso fresco today that we'll be using at the very end to top everything. So I have some spices here that I'll pass around. Go ahead and warm up the meat if you want. Yes, meat to split. Yes, ma'am. And so here we have some spices today too. We can add some spices to your beans or your meat. Let's see. Did you put the oil in? Yes, a little bit of oil to go in too, and then let's see if I can.
Well, you had to take it off. It was too hot.
Yeah, no, you're good. It was too hot. That was a good call.
You know me. Okay.
Okay, let's see if this does the trick. Can't tell if it's going down now. I think it went down just a little. Yes, go by the recipe. So we have some seasonings coming around. All right. Be good. Oh, did you want some more seasoning? So we have some chili pepper and oregano.
And we're going with
Yes.
I'm gonna measure.
Okay, if you like to take the tray, you can.
Yes, and then I'll bring these back and take those.
Okay. Yes. So if you're doing meat, the way we'll season the meat today, you can add half a tablespoon of cumin. We'll do half a teaspoon of dried oregano, and then also a fourth a teaspoon of chili powder. This is just, again, to add another little flavor, a little bit more kick, but you don't have to use as much of the chili powder. And then we're doing half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder, and then a pinch of salt and pepper as well. So just a little bit to get more flavor into our meat or into our beans if you're not doing that today. So I'm doing just beans today. And I'll add it. So we'll do, the season should be coming around. I can pass you in, yeah. Here you go. Oh, here, actually. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Uh-huh.
And I know that years ago, we lacked the iodine,
Yes.
and that was probably like in the 40s or the 50s in California.
Yeah.
So, do we really need to use iodine or not?
Should we? So it is, iodized salt is the easiest way that we can have iodine added into our diet. It changes throughout our life of how much iodine we do need. And so if you are using other sources of iodized salt, then, or of iodized products, so if you look at the nutrition facts label of different items, you can see how much iodine we need.
I have iodine at home, and I use it over. We use like the Himalayan or the sea salt, you know, on the dish after
Okay.
cooking.
Yes.
Katie, this is going to the trash. I'm sorry.
So We do actually need iodine, especially, I mean, it changes throughout our life, especially during pregnancy and lactation. We actually need the highest amount of iodine. But then also too, it varies. So if you are using Himalayan salt, that's okay too, but just make sure to be aware of getting that iodine in. With cumin. Ooh. Yes, I think it's coming around. Ooh. Wonderful. Oh, wonderful. So how's everyone doing? Okay? Ooh, okay. Let's see. The salt a little bit? Okay, I think the trays are coming around. Here's a little bit of salt if you'd like some salt.
Okay, I'm cooking for Jose. She's
Ooh.
doing chili powder. She said she wants everything.
Okay. Got it. There are measuring spoons. They're on the tray with all the seasonings coming around. Yes. If the seasonings have not gotten to you yet too, you can definitely place your meat or your beans and rice in a bowl and then add the seasonings when it comes around to you. Got it? Got a little separated. That works. Anyone else need more seasoning? Here we go. Thanks, Anna. Wonderful. How are we doing, everyone? Good? Yes, we have it separated here. So we'll go ahead and assemble if you've warmed up everything. So beans too, I like to share the fact again, rinsing the beans beforehand. If you put it into the pan to cook to warm up just a little bit, that's another way you can kind of get the water to come out. You could take out the meat and then go ahead and we'll give you another bowl for the meat. So you don't put it back onto the same one. Here we go. Oh, do you need another one? Here you go. Oh, perfect. That works too. Wonderful. So once you're done with your meat, you can pull it aside and then also warm up your rice and beans together if you'd like to as well. That's perfectly fine, yeah. It's all going into our bowl today. We measured out all of the pieces today. So our rice, we're getting half a cup of brown rice. We're also getting half a cup of black beans. And then it's supposed to be about half a cup of the ground beef as well. Yes, yep.
Do I do the same temp?
Yes, same temp. Is it blinking? If it's red, it should mean that it's on. Yes, so you can do it. If you have a little bit of oil too, just a little bit so it doesn't stick at the bottom. There you go. There you go. Oh, that's okay. We can grab you another. Here you go. Of course. Oh, I believe right in front of me. Here you go. Mm-hmm. So we're doing half a teaspoon. So we'll go ahead and do half a teaspoon of onion powder, garlic powder, and garlic powder. Yep. I didn't get a chance to measure them out beforehand, before class started. But, alrighty.
This is what I have to do to make sure I already did that.
I love that. That's a great way to do it. Turning it upside down is a great way. Awesome. I love it. All right.
Cilantro in our DNA, whether we like it.
Yes.
Because I did Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
A study because of the health problem I have. And it came back, if I'm, I am more likely
To like it? Oh,
But
wonderful.
it does, so it tests your DNA, will say
If
whether
you like it or
don't
not.
like it or you like it. I thought that, and I was like, well, now I know because everything's kind of coming back
Yeah.
spot on. 'Cause
Okay.
if it said I didn't like cilantro, I was like,
This is something's going on here. Yes. All right, so I have a quick question for everyone. Are beans, what food group do beans fall under? Protein? So actually they fall under two. They fall under protein and then also under a vegetable because it is plant-based. And then they fall in the legume food groups, right? So great in fiber, also get some extra protein, we get some iron in it. So I mentioned it earlier, but we're partnering not only the iron that's in the beans, the iron that's in the ground beef that we cooked today, with our vitamin C foods. And so in order to use the most of our iron, again, from animal sources and plant sources, when you pair it with vitamin C, our body's able to absorb it a lot more. So we call it a power pairing. Iron food groups or foods that have iron, and then pair it with vitamin C, our body can use it a lot more. So iron helps. It's a specific molecule in our body called hemoglobin. It carries oxygen throughout our body, and it also helps us to have energy. So it prevents diseases like anemia, things like that. So just a little bit of benefits from beans. That's why we're adding it into our bowl today. And then brown rice. So does anyone know why it's considered brown rice or what the difference between brown rice and white rice? It's healthier? I heard it's healthier, the way it's processed up here. Jose? Right?
The outer layer of the rice is blue, that's when you get the white rice.
Exactly. Yes. So that process that's why we consider it a whole grain. The whole grain, there's three parts of a grain. It's called the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. And so those three pieces together have added protein, added fiber, and minerals that we need. When we strip it off, that's where we get rice, white rice. It doesn't have those pieces. It just has the starchy part of the rice. And so we're looking for those added vitamins and minerals. So in order to get those added vitamins and minerals, we want to aim for whole grains. So popcorn's another really great whole grain. Corn, tortillas. Now I know I say HEB, but I think also Walmart has this too. They have a mitad y mitad. It's half flour, half corn tortillas. So if you are looking for something that's a little bit have more components of whole grain in it, you can aim for something like that. Again, whole grain. So what's something that you can think of that's whole grain that you're looking for? Anything that you eat right now that's whole grain? Bread, whole grain bread. Okay. That. Quinoa, yes, it's another wonderful whole grain. Again, it has lots of protein in quinoa too, so it's wonderful. Yeah. Quinoa. Couscous? Couscous doesn't have as much protein as something like quinoa does, but it is a little bit more of a whole grain, I believe. Yeah. A whole grain? Farro, a whole grain? Yes. Yeah. So a way to check too is when you flip over your food ingredient and you look at the ingredient list. The first thing you want to see on there is whole grain, whole wheat. If it says that as the first ingredient, then you know that the product that you're looking at is a whole grain. So that is a good part. So ladies, if you want to join us real quick before we start cleaning up, we'll just build our bowl together and then we can go ahead and finish cleaning up a bit. So I jumped ahead just a little bit. I added my rice and beans into my bowl today. Again, it's half a cup of brown rice, half a cup of beans. And that is, again, gonna have actually a complete protein in it as well. When we pair rice and beans, I know it's part of my culture being Mexican and Mexican American. Rice and beans is a staple, and that's part of actually the reason we put it like that is because it has all the essential protein that we need. So I'm getting a little protein in there. I'm gonna go ahead and then top it off now with some of my Pico de Gallo and make sure I get a little bit of our peaches today. So this, add about half a cup or so of our Pico de Gallo. So again, just to review what food groups we have in so far. So we have our whole grain, right? And we have our beans as protein and vegetables. We have some fruit, right? The fruit is our peaches and our tomatoes. We have some vegetables with our onion and also a little bit of our jalapeno. So what are we missing?
Our dairy.
Our dairy, yes. So that's why we have this. I know some said it looked a little bit like butter. It's actually queso fresco. So it's a fresh cheese that has a high moisture content in it. And I did get a lower fat option. So again, any dairy product is gonna have lots of calcium, which is a great mineral that we need. But also it is gonna have a little bit of saturated fat in it too because it's an animal-based product. So I went with a non-fat option. That's why if you ever hear someone saying you're aiming for lower saturated fats, sometimes if there's either a higher cholesterol or looking for more of an anti-inflammatory option, we go for lower saturated fats. So this is one way we can do it, getting a non-fat dairy option. This one's called queso fresco. It's just like a fresh cheese, I believe higher moisture percent. And so with this, I'm gonna go ahead and just crumble it on top to add my dairy portion. So, and then too, I didn't make meat today, but if you did make some meat, go ahead and add a little bit of meat to your bowl as well. Thank you, that would be wonderful. And then, there we go. We have our Fiesta bowl with, instead of apricots, I'll say we have our peach pico de gallo with our Fiesta bowl today. So again, just to take a little bit of a mindful moment, what are flavors or components of our bowl today are you familiar with that you usually eat in the day? Or in your tomatoes?
Cilantro.
Okay.
A fruit, I always have a fruit.
Okay. Beans and rice. Okay. And then anything that's new to you. Queso fresco. Okay. The queso fresco, the red onion, something new. Awesome. Peaches. Fruit in a pico. Okay. Something to try, something new today. And then too, I see you're tasting it. What do you taste? Anything that's familiar to you, brings back memories? Yeah. Sweet and savory. Okay. Ooh. Yes, some great flavors in there. Ooh, got some jalapeno. Okay. Got it. And then too, as you're digging in, just take a quick little sniff of it too. What do you smell? Cilantro. Onion sticks out for me too. That's always my first one that I smell. Tomatoes? Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So yeah, again, we're engaging in every part of this meal. And then how does it make you feel as you're eating, as you're got to spend some time today with our community from ThriveWell? How did you feel today with today's experience? Happy? Wonderful. Fun? I see some smiles here too, so that's good. Educational? Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Mm-hmm. Oh, good. Okay. Again, so this recipe, I'll share it with you today. You can also find it on our website. It's called chefsa.org. And I have that information for you too, so I can share that. But again, just hoping that you enjoy the time that you spend in the kitchen. And if you're not cooking for yourself, sharing this with family, maybe you're the one that gets to sit and watch the chef do all the work and get to enjoy talking with them or in the experience of just being in a kitchen. So thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoy it. And come back we will have in 2 weeks another recipe. We're calling Greek nachos, and we're going over the new American plate. It's focused on, again, the types of foods and how we're building our plate that's backed by cancer research to help not only prevent cancer, but also to support you throughout your cancer journey too. So that'll be next time in 2 weeks. But thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed today.